We are back for with Lisa, the Raw Food Romance, once a month podcast on healthy marriage. And this month's topic is bone mass. So last night, I shared on story that we are doing this podcast, and someone reached out to me. What does bone mass means? And
Hmm.
I explained this bone density, right? Bone mass, bone density, bone health. And she asked of healthy marriage. So Lisa is here to explain what is the connection between bone mass and healthy marriage.
Ah, thank you, Kiko. I just love doing these podcasts with you so much.
Me too.
I think it's a really important conversation to have because in a marriage, bone mass, I feel there's a few things that it has to do with marriage. Number one is if you have low bone density, you are at high risk of fracture and osteoporosis, which affects the marriage. If you get a fracture, you end up in the hospital, your spouse is going to be taking care of you and financially supporting you. It's a big burden on a marriage when anyone gets sick with anything, really. But protecting our bone density also protects our marriage because it keeps us out for the most part. I mean, nothing is a 100% guarantee that you're never going to get osteoporosis or whatever, but it's about prevention, right? It's about lessening your chances of it. And another thing, too, I feel like being focused on bone density and building my bone density has also in a way brought Nate and I a little closer because I'm more invested in exercising and we do it together. So it's kind of a bonding experience, so there's that too. But it is important because if we want to live a healthy, long marriage, right, these are some things that we need to focus on. And it's not just about being in marriage. This goes for any woman, right? But it does affect our marriage. It does affect our relationships because if maybe we're single and we have kids, the kids are going to have to look after us if we end up with a hip fracture. And a lot of women will have a fracture of some kind. And that is almost like sad to say, but it's like the gateway to health decline, very fast health decline. For example, Nate's mother, she had extremely low bone density and she tripped in the front yard. She didn't even like trip on something. She just tripped in the front yard and it fractured something in her spine. And within 3 weeks, she passed away.
Oh my. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one of the biggest thing that people actually die at older age. And there's also infection when they're hospitalized. So yeah, that's scary. But I just wanted to say, ladies and gentlemen, Lisa has answer to everything. I mean, just throw any question at her. She's got a perfect answer. So I told my friend who reached out to me, what's the connection with this bone density, bone health with healthy marriage? And I totally agree what you mentioned, what you shared, that you can bond together as, you can also hike together. And my husband and I, we love hiking. And when I was going through some health struggles, he he's very kind and he would push me from behind. But it's so much more enjoyable when we can do outdoor activities at the same level, right? And it just makes our life uh, more rich, meaningful, and enjoyable, something to look forward for over the weekend. And yeah, another point that you mentioned, that bone fracture that could lead us to death easily. I heard this like someone close to me growing up. So
Yeah, it's really something that should be on most of our minds. And another reason why it's so tied with marriage as well is because a lot of the bone loss starts to happen quickly during perimenopause. And perimenopause and then menopause and then postmenopause, all of these years the bone mass decreases, and these are also the years where the majority of divorces happen because of the perimenopause shifts. And there's a lot of other reasons. Obviously it's not just perimenopause, but
Mm.
perimenopause exposes a lot. And we might not be communicating properly. The husband doesn't understand perimenopause or what the woman is going through, and it can be really challenging. And bone density is part of the perimenopause equation,
Mm.
because during that time our hormones are all over the place. I heard it said that the perimenopause phase is a queenager stage. It's like puberty towards being a queen.
Ah, okay, I love that.
I love that too, right? Because when you're in puberty, your hormones are all over the place before you become a woman, right? And perimenopause is the teenager phase of becoming a queen. So we are going through a
Oh,
similar transition, but the opposite way, because we're not going to be fertile after. But we have to go through this like roller coaster of a time. And for some women, it can be light, and other women, it can be really heavy. So, understanding how our bodies are moving through it and learning that not just bone mass, but muscle mass as well, both decline as estrogen declines. And it was really interesting for those who want to learn more about their own bone density is to get a DEXA scan, like get a DEXA scan to see your body composition. And it was so surprising to see the weight of the skeleton. I was shocked. Like, whatever, how much you weigh, like 120, 130, 140 pounds or whatever. The weight of the skeleton is usually between 4 and 5 pounds. That's it.
mm.
That's it. And it holds us up, right? Our muscles hold our bones up, and it all works together. But the fact that we only have 4 to 5 pounds worth of bones in our body is amazing.
It's incredible. I just got the DEXA scan yesterday.
Oh,
So
no way! Oh, that's
for the
exciting.
first time in my life. Do you do this like often, Lisa?
Yeah, we're going to be doing DEXA scans about every 6 to 12 months. So once or
Oh,
twice a year. Yeah, because it's just another one of those things that we can track, and we're really into the numbers and seeing how things change. And it's like, oh, for the last 6 months we've been hiking with the weighted vest. How does that change?
yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Maribel commented, I've been beginning to do bone massage for the face. Interesting. I will send you the YouTube video. Yeah, please do. And
Mhm.
she also commented, It's crucial to take excellent care of ourselves during perimenopause." And she is, yeah, part of our community, and she's definitely taking care of
Mhm.
herself. Thank you so much, Maribel.
Yes,
And
Mary.
we can go on to some of the points that I have shared earlier. So why bone mass matters, especially during hormonal transition.
Mhm.
And so I personally, I'm taking this pill to stop my uh, cycle, because my cycle was just way too heavy, and I have adenomyosis.
Mhm.
So I didn't want it to take any pill, but I lost way too much blood that caused me to be at the edge of my life. So I started taking this pill, which so I'm on this 6 month cycle of taking pills every day that stops my cycle, and I'm really appreciative of this. And it was I just look at the numbers. So basically, when you go on the menopause, naturally bone mass will go down 1 to 2%, statistically speaking, right? And
Mhm.
when someone take this the kind of pill that I take, it's 4%, so it's much more brutal, and
Wow.
I am aware of that. But I feel much better. My bone is very strong, So that's I not just by feeling. I wanted to get the number right number data to make sure that what I feel is what it is.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel much better because I'm much more active than before. So hopefully the data shows how I feel. But I am mindful of it. So what I do is, of course, I eat fully raw with this pink smoothies for the breakfast, and I also exercise. Well, I go to mountain pretty much every day. I hike. I go everywhere in Kyoto by bicycle, so that also enforce my bone density. But okay, let's see. Yeah, that's something I wanted to just share what I'm going through.
Mhm.
The second point, there was the surprising truth about calcium, vitamin D, and bone density. That's also part of it. Like when I exercise outside, I'm getting natural vitamin D while I exercise. That's a great combination.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because calcium is usually the star of the show, right? Like everyone's always talking about calcium, 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 and calcium's really important for us, for not only for our bone density but also for muscle contraction. A long time ago, when I was working at the natural health industry store, I read a statistic. I don't know what the percentage is real, but this was the statistic I read that 20% of heart attacks happen due to a deficiency in a mineral that
Mm.
helps the heart pump. So, like magnesium helps the heart relax, and calcium helps the heart to contract. So it's magnesium, calcium, magnesium, calcium, magnesium.
Ah.
So if you have a lack of magnesium, your heart's kind of more stiff. And if you have a lack of calcium, it's a little bit more too relaxed, right? It doesn't have enough to contract. So beyond bone density, we've got, the circulatory system, which is affected by our magnesium calcium balance. And the majority of people are deficient in magnesium. It's like such a
Problem.
challenging one. Bless you. It's a
Thank you.
challenging one for a lot of people to get because they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables.
Mm.
As we see, the average North American's only eating 12 grams of fiber a day, which is pretty pitiful, sad. It's
Mm.
a sad amount, and we need to be eating more greens, more mineral-rich foods, more sprouts, and those kinds of things that are going to give us those minerals that are so essential. But calcium isn't the only thing. Like you mentioned, vitamin D is super important. But other things like I've got a list here, like trace minerals, phosphorus, and vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is so important, and a lot of people miss that one. In a
Natto.
Yeah, natto. There we go. Totally right.
That cheesy fermented flavor that you add in dry. Was it like a dry form that you use? The
Yeah,
powder
we
form?
have a freeze dried version. So it's raw and it's been freeze dried. So it's easier to add to things. And for those who have an issue with texture or flavor or slimy foods, they might not like natto. But it's one of the highest food sources of vitamin K2. And vitamin K2 is converted from vitamin K1, which is abundant in leafy greens and stuff. And our bacteria convert K1 into K2, and K2 is used for strong bones, strong teeth, strong nails, and other things in our body. So K2 is extremely important, but a lot of people, their microbiomes are endangered and they have very weak guts. They may not be converting, but they're not eating enough K1 in the first place. But whatever they're eating from the leafy greens, they're not able to convert adequately into K2. So taking a vitamin K2 supplement, and usually a lot of vegan vitamin D supplements have vitamin K added because they're fat soluble, so they work together.
Mm.
And they're really good for bone health. Boron is another mineral that's really important for bone health as well. So, going beyond calcium, it's not
Mm.
just about calcium. And surprisingly enough, the top 5 countries that consume the most calcium have the highest rates of osteoporosis.
Yeah, okay, Finland. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not the calcium. Calcium is one of the many
Mm.
Lego pieces that we need to build our bones, but it's not the single thing. So that's what's surprising about calcium is people hear it, they think bone health, they think calcium
Mm.
immediately because that's what we've been taught. Milk does a body good, build strong bones or whatever, but it's not that. It's we need so many other things like the weight bearing exercise,
Mm.
D from the sun. We need the trace minerals. We need the K2. We need that matrix to be able to build the healthy bones.
Yeah, it's sad. So here in Japan, this belief of, drinking milk is a great for bone density, and it's just so wrong. And especially elderly people, they think that drinking milk makes the bone stronger. And yeah, it's this on TV and mass media, they continue to promote
Mm-hmm.
milk because they have milk producing, they have a certain amount of, they have to keep on producing, right? So uh, there's certain period of season here in Japan that people don't consume. Apparently during the winter time, they consume less milk. So they're advertising a lot. And I was like, oh my God, poor mother cows.
I
They don't
know.
want to be milked.
I
It's just,
know. It's
it's,
sad. I saw this quote. It was really, really good. And actually, the whole dairy and egg industry, the exploitation of the females of another species, that's actually what made me go vegan. Like, I totally understood the meat part. I was like, yeah, vegetarian, you're not eating the animal because the animal has to die. But I always was like, milk and eggs, that's totally fine because the animal's not
mm,
dying. But then when I learned that number one, they're suffering a lot. And then they eventually end up dying for meat, anyways. They're put
mm,
into like the chickens who lay the eggs, they're put into like the cheap chicken noodle soup, Campbell's, like just
right.
cheap meat because it's not pretty meat. It's not that big plump, chicken breast.
Mhm.
But the dairy cows are sold off as cheap meat as well when they are spent and they can't. But I saw this quote on this thing and it said, cows don't produce milk. Mothers produce milk. And I was like, oh,
Ah,
right? It's not just cows that produce, it's a mother. Like you have to be a mother to produce milk as a mammal. So it's
mm,
like, well, where's this milk coming from? That meant that a cow had to be pregnant in order to
mm.
produce the milk. And society seems to believe that cows just produce milk and that's just what they do. It's like, no, mothers produce milk for
Yeah,
their babies, right?
it
So,
took
yeah.
me a long time for me to realize that that dairy industry is much harsh than abattoir itself. It's just, yeah, we don't want that. It's like full of pus anyway in that cow's milk. It's just
Mhm.
they're loaded with hormones because it's just they just want they just want to make sure they get the best most out of this one mother cow.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's just not helping us nor for the mother cow.
No.
But I also want to mention about the vitamin K, right? So here, my husband last year he had a stomach flu and it was quite bad, and we were looking at the over the counter medicine for like enforcing the gut flora.
Mhm.
And here in Japan, most of those over the counter gut flora has natto kinase, so it's from natto, right?
Mm.
And I explained to my husband, like, it's just full of natto. It's just maybe you might want to as well, you know, start
It
eating natto. He used to hate natto because I can understand it. I don't, like it either. It's not an enjoyable experience for me either. But for some reason, he was convinced. It was like one of the last thing he would eat, and he was denying for a longest period of time. And now he loves it. He just put it in his baguette, and he just loves the taste of it. So so it's kind of like a cheese. You you develop the taste. So if you like the taste, you could try. So
Yeah. And for those who don't want to try, the freeze dried is really good. I know, Dr. Rick and Karen Dina. Dr. Karen loves fresh natto.
is
She,
that right?
yeah, she loves it. And we're like, we'll stick with the powder. But it's such an amazing food because the bacteria in the fermentation process, they make that K2 for you. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's just eat it. The bacteria are so amazing in so many ways. And a healthy gut equals healthy bones as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go to the second one. The third one is weight bearing exercises and movement practice that strengthens bones.
Oh, and you know me. It's the weighted vest
Yeah,
and
so
weight
has that
training.
changed? Because I know you weren't using that much, right? You were carrying a lot of water and your produce on your backpack, but you started wearing the weighted vest since last year.
Hmm. Yeah. So what happened was in June. So Nate went to Oregon for about 2 months. He was gone for a while because he had to help his friends paint their house, and he was trying to help his brother and sister with their parents' estate because they passed away and they're still going through probate and all that stuff.
Mm.
So he went there, and I had just finished the raw vegan bundle, which is coming again this year. But we had just finished that, and I was by myself here. I wanted to work on a lot of things, and we just got our new cat too, and I didn't want to leave her for 2 months and go to Oregon. So I stayed back, and when I stayed back, I started walking every day because I had to fill my day with something. I didn't have Nate here,
Like,
so I was like,
like you didn't have much to do. Oh my God, Lisa has so much to do, but she wanted to add more.
I know, right? Oh man. So, well, what I did was, me, I like multitask, and I think I filmed, you're gonna laugh, but I filmed 67 videos within like 4 days.
What?
I filmed 67 videos. I actually have videos scheduled out on my YouTube until August this year, weekly videos, because I filmed them all in June. And so
Wow.
on my walks, I would go for these 2, sometimes 3, or even 4-hour walks. I would just get up and walk. And I would edit the videos while I was walking because a lot of it's just listening. And then, if I have like a spot where I need to edit it out, then I'll edit it. But just listening to it and editing it while I was walking. So I did get a lot done while I was walking.
That's crazy. So it's like, yeah, I was asking this, like, where do you get this time to do everything? Like, I mean, I love walking, but I'm thinking like I have so much things to do.
Mm.
And the editing, when you said that you edit while you walk, I'm like, what?
I know.
But
I
you've
edit
been
on
doing
my
this
phone.
for many years, so you
Yeah.
know what needs to be done. That's great for
Yeah, so
you.
like I have my editing. I'm actually editing videos right now that I filmed a couple days ago. These are all my February videos, but I just edit on my phone in iMovie, and it's easy for me. So I found ways that it works for me. But moving back to the weighted vest was for that whole month of June. Nate wasn't here, and I would go for these walks. It would be anywhere from 2 to maybe 3 hours, and some days I would go for longer, like if I had nothing to do that day, I would actually walk down to the Las Vegas Strip and back, which would be like at least 3-4 hours. But what I was doing was I was walking for maybe the first 2 weeks. I just walked with my backpack in the water, and I would go to this grocery store almost every day because I didn't have the truck. Nate took the truck to Oregon. So I had to find a way to get to the grocery store, and the nearest grocery store is about a 45 to 50-minute walk away just to get there. And then it's a 45-minute walk to get home. So I would go every day, and I would be like, well, today I need cilantro and more lettuce and a couple tomatoes. So I would just get what I needed for the day, or whatever fit in my backpack. And
You
then I
don't
would,
have bike either?
no,
I-
someone stole my bike
Oh
actually.
my God.
Now when
It's
we
like
first
Lisa
moved
needs
here.
to walk, so
Yeah.
let me
So
film.
I would just walk, but it's good because I was getting a lot of exercise in. So I would carry my water, and I had 2.5. My water thing carries 2.5 liters, which is about 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds. And then by the time I'd get home, I would have drank all the water, so I wasn't carrying that weight. But for the first part, I'm carrying an extra 4.5 pounds, and then the groceries go in, and that's extra pounds. So, I wasn't carrying a huge amount of weight in the first couple of weeks. But then I was like, oh, I should probably start adding more weight. So I have these dumbbells that my mom had from when I remember them from when I was like 7. So they're like 40 years old almost
Wow.
weights. Um, and they're 8-pound weights. So I put one of those 8-pound weights in my backpack at the very bottom of my backpack. And so that with the water and the backpack itself was something
It,
like 10 pounds or whatever.
does it support on your waist?
The backpack that I was using in June, yes, had a waist.
That helps,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, it helps a lot. So
Mm.
I carried that for about another 2 or 3 weeks. And then when Nate got home at the end of June, he was so impressed with all of my exercise and the weights that he purchased us each a weighted vest. So it was Nate that actually bought them, but I just started with a weight in my backpack. Like, you don't need to spend a lot of money. I have friends that put books, like, the really
Mm-hmm.
encyclopedia books. They put books in their backpack and they just walk with that. But the weighted vest is nice because there's weight in the front, so it's more evenly distributed. You don't have all the weight in your back. It's kind of like a more even distribution. So he bought me the 16-pound vest because I was already carrying like anywhere between like 10 and maybe 16 pounds in my backpack. So with the vest and the water, it's now like 20 something that I carry. And it's pretty awesome.
Maravilla just mentioned that the video you
Oh,
created, that's very impressive.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I know I'm trying my best this year to do a video a day on YouTube. That's my goal for the year, is a video a day. I want to have 365 videos for 2026. And so far so good.
Lisa, I love you. You are nothing but full of surprises, and I love this kind of people. I love it, and it shows when you were exercising. It showed on your face, and it's just you felt better, right? As you were moving all the time, and you just find a way to do your multitasking. Anything you do, that's amazing.
Yeah, another thing that I like to do too is I get like hundreds of messages every day on Instagram and
Mm.
YouTube and stuff like that. And what I will do is, instead of replying to the message, like, I'll usually spend maybe an hour replying to messages on Instagram every day. So instead of replying by text, I would just talk. I would do the voice memo and respond to the person's question while I was walking. And they loved it because they got a voice memo from me. So it's like, it's more connection there. And they would be like, wow, you sent me a voice memo? And I'm like, yeah, it's easier than texting because I'm walking. So I was able to do some work at the same time as the walk, trying my best to get it all in. It's hard. The body is a full-time job.
Yeah, yeah. Keep on going. Just
I love you.
there's no and I love you. I love having you as my friend because this is a kind of friend that I really love to connect because you just pull me from upwards without knowing without you don't even pay attention, but you just pull me from up. Like,
Oh,
sky is the limit for you.
thank you, Kiko. You're so sweet. I know. I'm so glad we're friends. And yeah, it's great to inspire each other. I mean,
Mhm.
you inspire me too. We
Oh,
all inspire each other.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, sometimes I feel like I do a lot. And sometimes I need to like take time. But that's where we have like our Sunday hikes. Like, we do our self-care Sunday. I do work a
Mhm.
little bit on Sundays, but it's not as much. I don't schedule calls.
Mhm.
Unless we're doing like a bundle or an event or something like that, we'll do some work on a Sunday. But for the most part, Sunday is our sacred day. We do hikes.
Mhm.
Like this coming weekend, we're so excited for this weekend because we found a hike that's 11 miles long. It's a big loop, and we're so excited to do this one. So yeah, and I'm thinking I might wear my vest. I'm not sure yet, but we did
All
another
right.
we did another one that was 5 miles, but it was very uphill. Like, it was a it was
Mm,
considered a difficult trail because there was a lot of scrambling and like, you know,
mm,
climbing the rocks and stuff. And I wore the vest during that one. And that was
mm.
intense because you're climbing with 16 extra pounds on your back. But that was fun. So this one here is like a little more chill. So I think I might be okay to wear the vest for that hike.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But everyone listening, don't
Yeah.
model Lisa, because Lisa is like all the way up there. We don't even see her. She's like shooting star. Don't just go with your own rhythm. If
Exactly.
you're not walking yet, just go without the weighted vest, because just that, vibration, like that massage on your feet, and that's excellent while you're getting the sunlight. It's excellent for the bone mass,
So
right?
true. I'm
So,
glad you said that too, because I know some people are like, whoa, you do that? And I'm like, as a raw vegan, yeah, I've got a lot of energy to be able to do that. But not everybody is here at where I am, and not everybody has worked up to it, right? So for
mm,
someone who thinks like a 3 mile hike is a long hike, and it is a long hike, a 3 mile hike is a good hike. But some people aren't there yet. So it's really important to work with your body instead of
mm,
against it, and never compare yourself to
yeah.
others. The best thing I say is that if you see someone who you want to be like, instead of comparing yourself to them, just find inspiration in their story. And then knowing that you can do it too, but you don't
Mhm,
have to do it the same way they do it. Work with where you're at and grow slowly, because that's what's going
mhm,
to ultimately create a solid foundation with your habits, is going
mhm,
slow in the beginning. And yeah, like you said, don't take the weights. And once you get good at walking every day, then you can add a backpack with water. Like you could
mhm,
fill a big like 1 liter thing of water and put that in your backpack, and that's enough weight to start.
mhm,
Because what it is for the bone density is when you put weight on your bones, it stimulates your bones to get stronger. And what they've studied is that people who carry extra weight have stronger bone densities than those who are leaner. And that's why when you look at the studies of vegans, vegans tend to be on the leaner side, so they have lighter bone density. And it's not the diet that's the problem, it's the fact that they are leaner. So leanness actually causes lower bone density because you don't have as much to carry. So
mhm,
whereas people who are carrying more weight, that's more weight on their bones, and their bones have to be super strong to carry that weight. So you're mimicking the added weight when you put on like a 16-pound weighted vest. It's like you're putting 16 pounds of weight on your body. So your bones are like, hey, we got to get stronger to deal with this extra weight. And there's a
mhm,
lot of women who will wear it doing housework. They put it on and they'll fold laundry, they'll clean the house, or whatever it is. They just put it on and wear it for a few hours every day because it gives your bones that stimulation to get strong.
mhm. This is a very important point, because I kept hearing that, the weight on your back is not good for you. And it's true, if you're not used to with that heaviness, it could, damage your shoulder, or it could hurt for a short period of time. But now there are more and more research coming up saying that weighted vest is excellent for your bone density. And yeah, that it just helps, like when you're doing the daily uh like routine.
Mhm.
uh for me, I don't for myself, I don't put any weight. I just like to be free in the mountain, and I get my exercise there. But yeah, I know that it's very popular, especially in the States. I see more people using weighted vests.
Yeah, we see actually when we go for our walks in the morning, we see other people with the vests
Really
too. Yeah, and it's nice to see because it's actually those people are thinking of
nice.
their bone densities. I've seen
Mhm.
multiple people. I'm like, wow, it's like really actually quite popular. And there were so many people. Like I was sharing about the vest over Christmas because Amazon had it on sale, and
Mm.
it was interesting because so many people were messaging me, and they're like, I got my mother a weighted vest for Christmas.
Oh,
My husband bought me a weighted vest for Christmas. So it was really nice to see that more people were getting it. And
oh,
they recommend starting with like 10% of your body weight. So, it's not a lot. You can start with 5 pounds. Like
mm.
start slow and then work your way up as you get stronger. Like you don't have to dive in, start carrying 20 pounds, right? It's about a slow, gradual increase.
Mm. What we see here a lot is the weight on the
Right.
wrist or for your feet. So sometimes I have it. So sometimes I would wear it and just walk, and it's so nice because when you wear it for like 10-15 minutes, and then after, like, you feel like you're flying, right? You feel so light, and I said, "Wow, it's like a
Totally.
motor in my body."
Exactly. I know there's one of our raw foodie friends, Olivia. She puts them on her wrists and chops her salad with it. So it works your arm because you're moving your arm up and down with this weight.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is a really great idea. So, those little arm weights can be really beneficial too.
Great. Okay. So the next point is mineral-rich foods that support skeleton health on a plant-based diet.
Yes, greens, 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 and sprouts and herbs and some spices, even. There's some really great options out there. Sea vegetables are another really good one to include. So, also something that I'd like to mention, say this all the time because we all need this reminder, is to chew our food more thoroughly. So people are always like, well, what's the highest food with calcium in it, or what's the best thing for me to have, to get iron or whatever it is. And it's like, the best thing you can do is chew your food. It's not necessarily about specific foods. It's what you're absorbing from those foods
Mm.
that makes the biggest difference. And if we're not chewing our food, we're not digesting it. And one person I was chatting with on Instagram, she was saying that she isn't digesting her food because she sees large particles in her stools. And I told her, I was like, it's not that you're not digesting it, it's that you didn't chew it, right? It's
Yes.
like, obviously your stomach and your intestines do not have teeth. So our teeth are so important. They're the first part of digestion. Digestion begins up here. We gotta chew our food, and if we don't chew it, we don't digest it, and it comes out the other end whole.
Mm.
So chewing is so important, so 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 important. So here's your
You're
reminder:
reminding me to chew
chew
my
your
smoothie.
smoothie. Yeah, we want to mix it with the saliva, but
Yeah.
also our microbiome is going to have more surface area to work with, right? They're going to have way more opportunity to ferment the food that we're eating and create those short chain fatty acids, which are anti-inflammatory and gut supportive, health supportive. We want all of that stuff. And in order to do that, we have to chew our food. It's so important. So if we want to get more
Mm.
minerals out of our food, we got to chew our food.
Yeah. And the minerals. I don't know if you guys have this. So in this purple or pink smoothies, I got a lot of greens, like
Mhm.
70%, about
Wow.
70% is greens. And we have this leaf called wasabi na. Do you guys get that? So
Mhm.
it tastes just like wasabi. You would love this because
Oh,
I know you like bitter
yeah.
thing. It gives like a nice kick. It's a bit similar to arugula or rucola. I
Mhm.
don't know how you guys call it, rucola.
Mhm.
It has a nice kick to it. So yeah, I like my smoothie a bit spicy. Um,
I love that. I love that. Yeah, you're getting those good minerals in. I know, I feel like a lot of people are scared of vegetables in both worlds. Like you've got the omnivorous world who they're hearing all of this, like, vegetables are trying to kill us because of all
what?
the anti-nutrients. It's like a big thing. Uh,
What?
on social media, people are like, there's anti-nutrients in the greens. They're trying to kill us because they're trying to protect themselves and all this stuff. And then you have some of the raw vegans who are hyper focused on fruit as being the only human food. So they don't eat the greens because it's not sweet. So they claim it's not human food because we should only
Mm,
eat sweet food. But the problem is, like, a lot of the fruit from back in the day was not as sweet as it is today. It was more neutral or bitter. Some fruits had more bitterness to them. And bitterness, I made an article about this in our community. We were talking about bitter, because people feel like bitter equals poison, but it doesn't.
Oh,
Bitter signifies mineral rich.
it's
And
interesting. Sorry, but here in Japan, bitterness is equals healthy food.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And here in the United States, bitter is feared, and especially in the raw vegan community. The fruitarian style of thinking really thinks that the bitter is not good, that it signals poison because the plant is trying to protect itself or whatever. So these bitter qualities are tended to be thought of as poisonous. But on the same spectrum, just because something is sweet doesn't mean that it's healthy either. Like there's something called a belladonna berry. These berries are sweet and tart, but if you eat more than like 3 of them, you can die. They're fatal berries. But just because something is sweet doesn't mean that it's not poisonous either, right? So that's where knowledge comes into play. And we're like,
Mm.
we're intelligent. We studied these things over how many years? So we know what's healthy for us. And greens and cruciferous vegetables and bitters are so healthy. In Europe as well, bitters produce, or they help the liver to secrete bile and help it to digest and detox and all that stuff. So bitters are actually really important, and there's a reason we have taste buds. It's not to detect poison necessarily, it's to know that that food, like you said, in Japan, bitter equals healthy.
Yeah, especially in springtime, which is a detox time, and we eat naturally. There are more bitter vegetables available, so we eat a lot of those traditionally here in Japan, like bitter veggies, like it's spring food, and that's the way to detox. And I remember when you mentioned about, the fruit not being so sweet back then, because we have modified, especially here in Japan, like fruits are very sweet and it tastes amazing, but it's true that it was not like this before. And Dr. Rick was mentioning on one of the Chef AJ Live talk that, yeah, fruit is what we were supposed to eat as a human being, but because we have modified so much, that we have to compensate with greens, and that made sense. That made so much sense to me, and that's why I like to add greens in anything that I make. Smoothies. Before I was more on the fruit base, but now I like adding greens, and it tastes amazing together.
Exactly. And your microbiome's happy too, because the people who eat more than 30 different varieties of plant foods, that includes fruit and vegetables, 30 minimum different varieties, they have the strongest microbiomes. And the more greens and herbs and like cruciferous and those kinds of things that you add to your diet, the more variety you have, the more you can grow specific bacteria, the more you can support liver detox and estrogen detox, which is pertinent to our conversation here. When you have too much estrogen being recirculated into your body, that can cause imbalance as well, because the liver is supposed to filter the estrogen, and that uses phase 2 detox pathways. And without that support, the liver can't properly deal with all this extra estrogen that needs to be filtered out. So
Mm.
the greens are so important for liver detox. And it's funny when people will say, like they're doing a fruit only diet for detox purposes, but they're not. Fruit is great and it's amazing. And I'm obviously not anti-fruit because I eat a lot of fruit, but it's not really like the most supportive for phase 2 detox. Like you need the sulfur compounds and the glucosinolates and stuff like that, mostly from cruciferous vegetable family things like the wasabi, mustard, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, bok choy, radish. All of these foods are very high in what we need to support phase 2 detox. So
Mm.
adding those in is like, if you want really good high functioning detox, get those greens in.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. Okay, so next point, the role of stress, sleep,
Ooh.
and lifestyle factors in both bone health. Oh my God, that's so okay. Let's go to the most important, sleep. Sleep, oh, we cannot say enough because we have been on this raw vegan journey for a long period of time. And in the beginning of our journey, I'm sure you heard that sleep, if you eat clean, you only need 4 hours 3 4 hours, that's enough. We are clean being. It's like, and I used to enjoy it for like,
Mm.
it's true, like, I 4 hours I was like up and I had so much energy, and it was good for a certain period of time, and it was just not sustainable. Oh my god, I'm so glad that trend has changed.
Yes, I know. I agree too. I remember being in some of the raw food groups way back in the day, like, 2014, 2015. And this was a big thing back then, that if you slept more than 4 hours, for some reason you were failing at a raw diet because the goal was to sleep less. And it's like, no. So I would sleep like 8 or 9 hours. And there was a part of me for a very short period of time that felt bad that I was sleeping 8 to 9 hours. And I'm like, why am I sleeping this long when I
Oh,
should be only sleeping 4 hours?
so you
But
never had a phase that you slept for 4 5 hours, really?
I didn't. Yeah, I loved sleep.
You
I
okay,
still
so you
never did.
always had a good calorie. Do you think you always had like 2,000 calories per day?
Yeah. So when I first went raw, the first year and a half, I strived to consume roughly on average about 2,100 to 2,300 calories a day. That was my daily average. Whenever I would enter the foods into chronometer, that was usually the where I would fall in between.
Mm.
Now I eat roughly, I mean, it depends on the day, obviously, but I aim for about 2,400 calories
Mm.
nowadays. With the added exercise, I sometimes need to eat more. I'm hungrier because I'm burning more calories. So I need to compensate for that to maintain my muscle mass. Because
Mm.
if we don't eat enough and we're under eating, our body needs to find those calories somewhere to continue functioning, especially if you're active and you're under eating. Your body is not only going to eat its fat, but it's also going to eat your muscle mass, which we don't want. And that's the problem with diet culture these days, and has been for a really long time, is that especially women, we're taught to eat like 1,200 calories a day to lose weight. But the sad thing is that when we're exercising and we're only eating 1,200 calories, our body needs to find the rest of the calories to compensate. So it's going to eat the muscle mass. And here you are trying to
Mm.
lift weights and build muscle mass, but you're not eating. It's counterproductive. So
That's true.
yeah, we have to eat enough, and that's so important. But the sleep is so important too, because sleep helps to regulate hormones. It keeps our cortisol levels in check for the most part, aside from, stress, obviously. But
Mm.
sleep is so critical to all aspects of health. So it's for me, I mean, like the diet is a huge part of health, but I think like getting your sleep on point is an area of focus that a lot of us don't put as much focus into.
Yeah. Do you use an app to track?
Um, for a while, I was using, I have this headband that tracks your brain
Wow.
waves. Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
I like to geek out on stuff. I mean, it's called Muse. So yeah, they have this headband and it attaches to an app, and it's meant to be used for meditation because it can test your brain waves when you fall into certain states of meditation. And they have like these not challenges, but like programs in the app, so you can select specific ones. And there's one that I would use. It would be like a little bird chirping whenever you would fall into like a different meditation state, so it would
Wow.
remind you you're thinking of other things, right? So it would be like a
What?
little chirp in the background. It wasn't distracting, but you could hear it, and you're like, okay, calm down. It would teach you to keep calming
Interesting.
down.
Wow, I never knew that kind of device.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. It's like 400 and some dollars for the headband, and that's about $100 a year for the app, to have access to the app.
Wow.
But they have a sleeping option, so you can set it for the sleep, and they have like things you can listen to, like they have meditations and music, and you can listen to your own music or whatever. But it tracks your brain waves while you sleep, and then when you wake up, it's probably one of the most accurate at-home brain wave testing things on the market. Nate,
Does it stay while you
yeah,
sleep?
it does stay. I know. I was actually quite surprised that it stays, because I wear a mask
Hmm.
at night, and most of the time it's gone in the morning.
Yeah.
But this stayed on really well, and I didn't feel like it was too tight to give me a headache. Like you can
Wow.
adjust the band and stuff, but it stayed pretty well. And it took a little bit of getting used to, because you're wearing something on your head. And I did it for about 6 months, and I really learned a lot about how late to eat and how late I'd go to bed. It would affect my score. So I did learn a lot. I don't use it right now. I do want to eventually get back to using it,
Why
mostly.
did you stop using it?
Just the cost. It was
Ah, okay, because you need $100.
yeah, and I just canceled my renewal for this year because I haven't been using it. Yeah, I just
That's
forget, and you have
so
to charge it every night, and then you forget to charge it, and you're like, damn it.
that's fascinating.
Yeah, so
Amazing. I love this kind of technology to help us, to understand where we are and, make it better in the
mhm.
future.
Yeah, and Nate, he has the Aura Ring. So
Oh
he wears
yeah.
the Aura Ring, and he tests his sleep every night because it's easy for him to just put it on. I've thought about getting an Aura Ring, but I'm like, well, I have the Muse. So, I mean, like, I should just use the Muse instead of spending, like, I don't even know, it's like $800 for an Aura
What?
Ring.
Wow.
That's expensive. Like, if you want a gold one or whatever, I think there's some cheaper ones out there, like $400 or $500. But it tracks your heart rate and your temperature and all that stuff. So it kind of
That's super
knows.
cool.
Yeah, it knows when you're in a sleep state. It also, I think, tracks your movement as well, because there's certain times at night when you're paralyzed, and that's when there's like no movement. So
Mm.
the ring or the app or whatever understands that you're in deep sleep because you're not moving at all. So there's like little ways that it knows. And I've also used a sleep app called Sleep Cycle.
That's what I have. Okay, so
Yeah.
everyone, you don't have to spend
No,
hundreds of dollars. Yeah, this sleep cycle is free,
don't.
and it's not necessary, but I think it helps to motivate us to be on time, going to sleep and getting not enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours per day. So
Mhm.
yeah, mine is called Sleep Meister, but there are quite a
Okay,
few apps.
yeah, and I like Sleep Cycle too. The only thing that is not as great about the apps on the phone is that, number one, you have to have it like on the bed so it can feel movement. That's like
Mm.
the big thing, that it feels movement. But number two, if you're sleeping with somebody, their movement affects it as well. Like you can set it, you can pay extra on the Sleep Cycle app to set it so there's like two people, so it can kind of tell when a different person is moving.
Mm.
It records your snoring, like you can listen to your snoring on it too. So it's a really fascinating way of tracking. But like you said, it's not meant, you're not supposed to be like obsessed with the numbers. It's more there to motivate you to be
Yeah.
to like recognize different things, like, oh, I ate dinner at 9 o'clock and I went to bed at 9:30, and that affected my sleep, and it
Mm.
the numbers, right? So it's more of a guide and more of an inspirational tool than it is like a hard line, like, no, like these are the numbers, because it's not as accurate. So, but it's going to give you that motivation.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, let's go to the next one. Natural approaches to preventing osteoporosis.
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 I know it's a good one. Um, I think like the top things for that would be all the things that we've talked about: the weight bearing exercise and moving your body, the mineral rich diet,
But Marabera mentioned, yeah.
the greens, adding your greens, stress reduction, getting outside, getting that sunlight for the vitamin D is really important too. So it's interesting how it's like each different thing about our life, like our circulatory system, our digestive system, our bone density, our muscle mass, like our vision, everything boils down to the same boring, consistent habits, right? It's like get out and move your body, eat proper food, stay hydrated. It's like it all
It
helps.
all connects, yeah. I love
Exactly.
it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
me too.
Okay, so two more points. How staying physically strong supports emotional resilience and partnership vitality.
Yes. And like we had mentioned, it's so awesome to go with your partner to do active things. This is,
Mm.
again, Nate and I, our favorite day of the week is Sunday when we get to go for our hikes together. And
Mm.
if I wasn't moving and doing the exercise during the week or whatever, it's more challenging for me to go and do these things with him because my muscles might be weak or what have you. And after that month in June, where I was walking with the weighted vest every single day,
Mhm.
well, not the weighted vest, but I was walking with weights every single day. When he came back and we went on a hike, because I hadn't gone on a hike for a whole month. I was just walking in the city because I didn't have a
Mm.
vehicle to go to a hike, right? So when he got back, we went on a hike that we've done probably about 6 or 7 times already. It's one of our favorites. It's called White Mountain Loop in Red Rock Canyon here in
So
Vegas.
beautiful. I saw some of your
Oh,
photos.
it's
Amazing.
amazing. It's one of our favorites. And it's a good like 6 or 7 miles long. And
Mhm.
there's a good amount of elevation gain, like maybe 15 or 1700 feet of elevation gain. And I did that hike after not doing a hike for over a month. And I didn't have the weights. I was just carrying my backpack with water and I was charging. I was going so fast and I wasn't out of breath like I used to be. And I was just like, wow, like this is even more enjoyable than it
Mm.
ever has been in the whole time that we've been married. Like
Wow.
I love hiking, but like I don't do as much exercise. So I was you notice these things. Like I'm active, but I'm not super active. But then after June, when I really put a lot of focus into the movement, the hike was so easy. And we even hiked
Mm.
up about a month later. We hiked up to one of the second tallest peaks here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Mm.
I think it was about 10,000 feet of elevation. And I think it was like 3,500 feet of elevation gain. So it was a big hike. And we hiked to the top of a mountain peak. And I was like, that was actually easy. I had always been scared of that hike because I was like, it's a lot. We're going up the mountain and it's an intense one. And it was a long one. We were gone all day for hours and hours. And I was like, that was actually not as bad as I thought it would be because
Mm.
I had been working my body. So, in terms of being in the relationship, it's so nice to be able to do something with your partner and not feel exhausted doing
Mm.
it because your bones are strong, your muscles are strong, and you have more endurance. And obviously, the raw food has a lot to do with that too. We're not eating foods that are making us feel sluggish or tired. Like I remember just a couple weeks ago, we hiked up to the top of a peak. We went to Turtle Head Peak, and that's a big hike too. At the top, there was a family up there who were eating potato chips. And I was like, I would
Oh, it's
feel,
smoking. Here in Japan, sometimes I see smoke. I'm like, why would you smoke on top of the mountain? Like,
I
don't,
know,
I mean, don't take away the pure
I
air
know,
from me.
we're up here for the fresh air, right? Like, I know it was really interesting. These people all were eating potato chips, and I'm like, I would feel so horrible. Nate and I had a wrap, and it was amazing. We felt great. We had tons of energy, and I remember when I used to go for like a weekend, whatever, and it would always be an excuse to eat whatever I wanted because it
Yeah,
was
because you push yourself to go up there. Yeah.
yeah. And so like now it's like no, I want to be healthy. I want to
Yeah.
feel good. I want to be energetic and enjoy it with my spouse and have that together time, doing the
Mhm.
activities. So it's really important to keep our bone density healthy so that we can do
Yeah.
things for as long as
Definitely.
we can.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes my husband, he wants more like robust hiking, so he would run to the
Mhm.
summit, and I can't keep up with it. But now he's in France now on a business. He's in Europe for a business trip, and I've been running in my mountain, and now I feel like I can keep up with him. It's just so much more.
Mhm.
More bonding while we run in the mountain together, and we can challenge ourselves to higher mountain or more challenging places.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so yeah, I just love uh experiencing nature with my husband, while we are getting some exercise together, not just going to eat somewhere. It's yeah, I just we travel around the places for the hiking is our highlight of our trips. So we always look for nature, and it makes, yeah, I have to keep up with him to be able to walk. Sometimes he'll just run and come back and check on me and push on me because he's really good, um he's in a good shape. So
Mhm.
now we are going into 1 hour. This is the last question point that I wanted to cover, is why investing in bone health together creates a foundation for shared adventure, travel, and active life as a couple. We were just exactly talking about it.
Mhm.
And Lisa, yeah, sorry, you are going to Canada,
Mhm.
right? Soon you're going to Canada.
Yes, we're
Are
going in
you doing
August.
some hiking there, or?
Yes. So on our way up, we're going to take a couple days to get up there because I think it's like 20 hours of driving. So we're going to split it up, and we're going to go to different places.
You're driving? Oh my God.
We're driving. I know.
Why driving?
A few reasons. We want to take our cooler and our food and our tent because we want to camp. So
It's
having the
so
truck.
much fun. I love
Oh my gosh,
camping.
we are so excited. It's going to be one of the
You
top.
guys have the best equipment setup, and the car, it's
And we
love it.
have it. We have it. So it's like, why not use it, right? So
Yeah,
why not
so
take
much
the truck?
enjoyable than flying.
Yeah, and also because we're raw foodies, we like to take our own food. So we have our big cooler. We can put all the food that we need in there. We can also collect food on the way. Like if we find a little farmer's market, we can buy some stuff and we have a
Mhm.
cooler that we can keep it in. We don't have to worry about flying with glass or how much our luggage is going to
Mhm.
weigh or whatever. And plus, another bonus to driving up there is I'm going to see my family for the first time in like 7 years. When we drive up
Mm.
there, and I want to take gifts. I have like a huge box of gifts that I want to give my sister and her kids. I've got gifts for my dad and my mom, and I want to bring them to them instead of spending like 80 or $100 on shipping to ship it to them.
Sure.
I want to give it to them in person. So it's saving money, but it's also nice to give the gift in person. And we're excited. We're going to have our Christmas in August because I have all their Christmas gifts, but I'm like, I'm going to save them for August. And they're like, yeah, that's cool.
You're
um,
amazing. You're so generous, and you're just really a gift to the world, Lisa.
Thank you. And another thing, too, is we want to take our wraps with us. So we're going to be making wraps like,
Non-stop. The
yeah, we're gonna be making
dehydrator
photographs
running.
every day the week before we go. So the reason is because my family is having a family reunion kind of a thing at my grandmother's piece of land where they all have like trailers and my dad built a cabin there and everything. So they're going to have a reunion, and we want to attend because, like I said, I haven't seen my family in 7 years. So it'll be really nice to connect with them. But I want to make wraps for everybody. So I want to take the wraps with us. And between the wraps and all the food and bringing the blender and everything, it's too much to carry on the airplane. And plus,
Mm.
Nate and I love road tripping. So we're going to stop. Like I said, we're going to stop throughout the way. We're
I
going to,
love this. Yeah, my husband and I, we are the same. We have a small car, and we love, stopping on the way and going to the farmers market and sleeping in the car. It's so much fun.
yeah, it's going to be epic. And so we're going to drive up and we're going to Banff, Alberta first because Nate's never been there. I've been there multiple times because it was pretty close to where, not close, but I mean, it's like 7 hour drive from where I grew up. It was close because we went every year to, drove through Banff. But
Yeah, you have a familiarity of the place.
yeah, and Jasper as well, which is only about 3.5 hours from where I grew up. So we're going to go to Banff for a couple nights. Then we're going to go to the family reunion for a couple nights. And then we're going to go to Jasper for a couple nights. And then we're going to spend time in Edmonton, Alberta, which is where I'm from. That's where my mom and my sister and my brother live. So, and my friends, my Canadian friends, I can't wait to see them too. So we're gonna have like a friends day, we're gonna have a family day, and then we're gonna drive back. We're gonna take about 3 nights to drive back as well. So we'll stop in like Montana and like some other areas that we haven't been to.
Oh,
We've got all these ideas of where we're gonna go.
so much fun.
I'm gonna make a whole video about the whole thing. So
Oh, I can't wait.
yeah, it's gonna
Oh,
be
you make
really
everything possible, Lisa.
awesome.
Truly. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. It's just, there's no excuse. But, we have to wrap it up. But I just want to, thank you, Lisa, for all of your love. I mean, I'm just so excited for your trip also in August. Like, we have 6 more months to go. But how exciting is it to plan every day and you know, um, when you put the limit, the limit stays. But when you talk to someone like Lisa, everything is just possible. Really. I mean, I just love that you share your life. And Nate is amazing. You're such an essence to, especially for this raw vegan community. I'm really thankful for it. And I have been on the raw vegan journey for over 22 years, but I would say that I was struggling to stay fully raw until I found this community. And ever since I started, I was pretty much fully raw before I joined the raw vegan bundle, but it now looking back, it was a struggle because there was no one else. Like there was no community that I could, enjoy this lifestyle with. And just make it. After that, it's just so easy. I was just looking at my post. I was like, I'm just naturally fully raw. It's just there's no force to it. And I do think, the reason of like why do you want to stay raw vegan is very important. But next most important thing is find your community. That it could be online. Lisa has a daily YouTube podcast going on, and there's so many more that you can follow, that you can be inspired, and you start where you are. Don't be intimidated by Lisa. She's an exception. She's been doing this every single day for how many, over a decade, right?
Mm.
So it just accumulates. Where you start, just focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself, get inspired.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, it's one day at a time. That's really all it is. It's just like learning a new language, right? You're not expected to be fluent in it, after a week. So it's just learning one word at a time, learning one smoothie at a time, learning one verb at a time, or learning about cruciferous vegetables or whatever. Like it's just about learning one thing at a time. And you're not supposed to be perfect. There isn't
Mhm.
a perfect. It's just a journey. It's a progress journey, and you just
Right.
practice every single day and you roll with it, right? It's like to take that pressure off yourself to be perfect and just focus on today. Like, what can I do today to support my body?
Yeah. And so today was bone mass. And again, remove that also. I wanted to mention also that bone mass as a healthy marriage or good partnership. Like when here in Japan, especially female, like men supposed to be that's muscular one to help women, to carry. And it's not actually, it's not, it sounds romantic, men carrying you and taking care of you. It's not romantic at all. It's maybe romantic when you're in 20s. It's not romantic at all, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's a burden for men, you know like how long can you keep on carrying your women? Like they have their own thing going on. It's much more enjoyable to you know to have the same hobby, to do the same thing, activities.
Yeah, exactly. And if the men are carrying the women all the way through their 40s and their women aren't strengthening themselves, then that can cause a lot of health issues later as well because
Mhm.
aren't, they're so used to being carried and they're so used to having things done for them
Yeah.
that they don't actually build their muscle or build their bone density, and then that
Mhm.
causes issues later, which can stress the relationship too. So, yeah, it's so important to focus on
Yeah.
health.
Yeah. But this was amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I
I know
love
I love doing these with you.
I love the time with you, and I hope everyone benefited from our talk as well. Thanks, Maribel, for your lovely comments, and thanks everyone for watching us. If you have any questions, we'll be back next month, I hope,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay,
Look
and
for the
Lisa,
topic.
yes, and Lisa is working on her new book, which
Mhm.
connects to our topic here.
Yes, and that's
So
coming in the raw bundle.
yeah, that's so
Yeah.
stay tuned. That's I'm so excited to read your new book, and we'll be back next month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.